Hello, good morning, everyone. Thank you for your attention to the 5G motivation and the industry trend. First, I want to thank TRA to invite me to sharing the 5G courses. And as we know, in the coming days, we also have a lot of amazing, interesting ICT topic, such as the drone, such as the cloud VR. Hope you can enjoy our training. Okay, before the training, I would like to introduce myself to you. My name is Li Zhi. You also can call me Rex. Li Zhi is my Chinese name. Rex is my English name. That's my email address, rex.lizhi@huawei.com. In the future, if you have any question, you can send me the mail. All the questions are welcome. I have the more than 20 years ICT experience, especially for the 5G. Okay, then let's look at our courses. In these courses, I would like to divide into the 4 chapters. The first one, we will talk about the 5G vision and application scenarios, and such as like the high throughput, low latency. Then we will talk about that. Now, how about the 5G protocol and which one we already use? Okay, the third, we will talk about that the 5G transformation and the network evolution. That's about some technical topic, but don't worry, I will use some very easy cases to tell you. The final one I think is very important. How about now the 5G in the global, in the whole world, 5G already commercial, but why we use the 5G? What is the 5G commercial use case? And let's look at the one by one. I would like to start from the first one, the 5G. What is the 5G? Now, even my grandmother, she also asked me that, what is the 5G? Actually, I want to tell you, 5G is just like the nickname. The 5G, officially, we will call that IMT 2020. Okay, we can look at that. That's the IMT 2020. And actually, we also have the IMT Advanced. That's for the, we can say that that's the 4G. IMT 2000, that's a 3G. So IMT 2020, that's the official name. You also can find that the 2020, that's the year. So original, we think that 5G start from the 2020 this year. Okay, but my grandmother say, okay, that's difficult to remember that. So she also want to call that 5G. Yeah, most of the person, we call that 5G. So in the next course, we also call that, that's the 5G. So normally each 10 years, we have the new generation of the mobile communication. And now 5G is coming. In some country, we already can use the 5G, such as in China and like in the Middle East. Many countries and many operators, we already deployed the 5G. But 5G, what's the difference for the 5G? 5G is not only 4G plus 1G. We say that the 5G is not only the 4G plus 1G, because we know that the 5G, actually, it will change the whole society. Mostly we say that the 4G changed the life, but the 5G, not only the life, it will change the whole society. The life, the industry, everything maybe will change by the 5G. So how the 5G can change so much? Let me introduce some more detail to you. The first one, I think we should know that for the 5G, we will talk that the 5G have the 3 important things. One, that's the eMBB. eMBB, you can say that it's the high throughput. It's a very high throughput because for the 5G, the peak rate will be reached the 10 gigabits per second. You can find that sometimes some area, maybe it's higher than the optical, the fiber. And in the next phase, maybe it will higher than the 20 gigabits per second. It's very high throughput. So it can support a lot of new applications, such as the VR, AR, 8K, HD video, and so on. And then the second, we will call that URLC. The URLC, we can say that it's an ultra, very lower latency and very reliable system. But how lower latency? Normally, we can say that in the air interface, its latency could be less than the 1 millisecond. 1 millisecond. What is 1 millisecond? We know that 1 over the 1,000 second. Let's say I'm shining. When I'm shining, already passed the 1,000 times. So it very quickly, it delay very short. Why the 5G we have to use that? Because it's very useful for such as the, we can say that such as the auto driving. The latency should be very low. Okay, the last one. The last one, we can say that it's about the connection density. We call that MMTC. What is the MMTC? MMTC, you can say that that's the machine telecom communication. Or we can say that now the 5G want to connect all the things into our internet, into our wireless network. You can see that in the 1 kilometer square, we can connect the 1 million devices. So a lot of things, such as not only my cell phone, my iPad, even the light, even the TV, even the chair, even the desk, everything could be connected to our network. So it will be the intelligent society. So that's our important 3 points for the 5G: high throughput, lower latency, and a massive connection. Of course, the 5G will work with the AI. If combined with the AI with the 5G will be inspire a lot of things. For example, not only for the people, but also will be for a lot of things such as industry, agriculture, and our car, energy, healthcare, education. Everything will be changed by the 5G, we will say that. And by the way, we also have the B2H. The 5G will inspire B2H. That B2H is to our home. Why? Because in our home, now we want to use the wideband internet. But in some areas, some country, it's very difficult to put the optical, the fiber. So we also can use the 5G, because 5G, you put the one side, you can coverage a big area. It's very easy to deploy it. You don't need to connect the cable to each home. Just put the one side and can coverage like the 1 kilometer square or 2 kilometers square. It's like that. And it's easy to deploy it and easy to enjoy the network. Because just now we say that the 5G throughput also very high. So you also can use your 5G to enjoy a lot of service. That's why we can say that the 5G also will inspire the home. Okay, that's some 5G background. Let me introduce that one by one. The first, just now we say that it's about the EMBB. EMBB means the high throughput. The throughput is very high, so we can enjoy the HD videos. You can find that, okay, if you use the 8K, you can see it's so clear. Then we also can enjoy the panoramic live broadcasting. You can enjoy that anywhere, anytime, because you can use your cell phone. And we also have the VR and AR and MR. MR means that you cannot distinguish which is the really one, which is the virtual one. So of course, this service, it need a high throughput, high speed. Sometimes it need more than the 1 gigabit per second. 4G and the 3G cannot support that. Only the 5G can support that one. Because the 5G is a wireless, it's not like the optical, it's the fixed. So that's to say, it's a 5G, you can enjoy all this service anywhere, anywhen, if you have the 5G coverage. That's the first, high throughput. And the second, that's about our smart home. For this smart home, we can say that it will connect everything. Just now we say that can connect everything to our internet. Not only the home, but also the city, the whole smart city, such as now in China, in some country, the bicycle, the meters, and also we can say that the icebook and TV, everything will be connected to our internet. So the 5G, because it can support massive connection, 1 kilometer, it can support the 1 million devices. So that's a lot of things, all the things can connect it to our 5G network. It's a really IoT, massive IoT service. So now why the 3G and the 4G cannot support so much? Because the 3G only about the 100 connections, 4G about the 10, we can say that the 1,000 connection for the per cell, one area. But the 5G just now say that, okay, it's a 1 million connections per kilometer square. So a lot of things will be connected. That's a second. We can say everything will be connected to the internet. The last one is about the URLC. So before that, I would like to show you the one video.
Mr. Sandman, bring me a dream. Making the cutest that I've ever seen. You'll have nobody to call my own. Please turn on your magic beam. Mr. Sandman, bring me a dream. Mr. Sandman, someone to hold. Would be so peachy before it's too old. So please turn on your magic beam. Mr. Sandman, bring me a dream.
Okay. So just now you already watched this video. How do you think about it? Yeah, that's about the auto driving. So for this auto driving, we hope that in the next 10 years, it will come into our life. It's amazing, yes. But you know, for the auto driving, the very important things, the most important things is what? Shut the delay. Because you need to shut the delay to control the car. So the delay should be very short. 5G can do that. Because of 5G, the delay only the 1 millisecond. So the delay short, it's more safety. For the 4G and the 3G, actually it's a delay is the 10 and 100 times of the 5G. So it's not so safety. But the 5G, only the 1 millisecond, when it's shining, already passed the 1,000 times. So it's so safety for the auto driving. Then we also have the industry internet. The industry internet, you can connect a lot of things. You can find that you can connect the robot, you can connect the drone, you can connect everything. So, of course, this one also needs a lower delay, such as the surgery. So the delay should be short and more safety. 5G can do that. Only 5G can do that one. That's our point for the 5G, 3 features. Then let's look at the one question. Just now we talked a lot of service application for the 5G. which of the following service can only be provided by the 5G? You can look at that one, A, B, C, D. Okay, we look at it one by one. A, TikTok. Yeah, TikTok at the 4G also can support, not only the 5G. HDVR, just now we say the VR, it need a high throughput, sometimes need more than the 1 gigabit per second. The 4G only about 100 megabits per second. So we can say that the 4G cannot support, only the 5G can support the HDVR. Smart meters, actually smart meter, now 4G also can support. But if you want to connect the mirroring meters, it need a 5G. But if you only connect the one smart meters, 4G, 3G, or 2G also can support it. The shared bicycle, actually the 4G also can support. So we can say that only the HDVR, 4G cannot support, only supported by the 5G because it needs more than the 1 gigabits per second. Only the 5G can support that one. The other, now the 4G can support it. Okay, that's the first one. Then we will look at that. Okay, we talk about so many about the 5G, but we know that how about the 5G and when we can buy the 5G cell phone, when I can enjoy the 5G? Yes, now we already can do that. Why? Because the protocol already frozen. Now let's look at that. For the 5G, because that is a release 15 and 16, it's a 3GPP divide that. Okay, one formal, divide that one. And then divide this one, we know that this 5G is like the evolution of the 4G. It will start almost start from the 2018 this year. Okay, let's look at the more detail. So for the 5G and we also divide into the two things. One is the NSA, non-standalone. One is the standalone. It's about a little technical information. So you just get some basic idea. And NSA, non-standalone means what? Non-standalone, if you hear this name, you can know that, okay, it means what? It means that actually the 5G cannot stand alone. 5G need to work with the 4G. That's a 4G. That's a 5G. That's to say, the 5G need to work with the 4G. Now, most countries, they use that one because this one can save some money or in the first phase because not many people use the 5G. So the 4G, 5G can work together. You can use the original 4G's equipment and then you don't need to deploy the new 5G core network. So we call that's the NSA. SA means what? SA means a standalone, means that 5G will not need to work with the 4G. 5G is independent. But what's the difference? Future, we will use the SA. But first phase, we use the NSA. Because NSA is easy to deploy it. It's very easy. But the NSA only can support the EMBB, only can support the high speed, the high throughput, high speed. But if you want to use the URLC and the MMTC, what is the URLC? Like the auto driving. If you want to use the auto driving, so you have to use the SA. But the SA means that you need to build a lot of more 5G sites. You need to build you want to deploy the new 5G core network. So investment will be a little higher. So we will do that step by step. First is the one, NSA. Then we will deploy the SA. That's why auto driving is not so quickly, because now most country we use is the NSA. Future, we will use the SA, and then we can use the auto driving. Okay, then we just get some idea. the 5G principle will frozen one by one, one by one. Now we can see that first version is frozen in the 2018 this year. That's why from this year, some country deployed the 5G, such as the Korea. Then more and more countries start to deploy it. Now we can find that we already have the R16, this version. This version can support the URLC, can support auto driving, can support the remote surgery like that one. Okay, but it's just a frozen this year and it needed some time to deploy that. In the future, maybe we also have the release 17 and release 18. That's a new version in the future. New version, maybe we also will connect it to satellite, work with the satellite. Okay, that's some idea about the principle. Then we can look at that. Now I want to use the 5G. It's okay or not? Yes, no problem. Because if you want to use enjoy the 5G service, first you have to use the 5G network. 5G network. Now the 5G network, we can find that the 5G network, we have the 5G network. Huawei also have 5G network. A lot of vendors also support 5G network. Now you can find this is 5G network equipment. You can deploy it. But for the many people, they don't care about the network because the network is focused on by the operator. And they focus on that one, such as my grandmother. My grandmother will ask me that, when we can buy the cell phone? Yeah, actually we can find that first, we have the 5G smart cell phone. Now we already have a lot of 5G smart cell phone, such as for Huawei, Samsung, Xiaomi, Vivo, Oppo, OnePlus. They already have a lot of smart cell phone. Huawei also support a flexible screen, foldable screen cell phone for the 5G. Okay, but many people also say that, okay, we have the 5G cell phone, but 5G cell phone is too expensive. That's not enough. We want a little lower price cell phone. Yes, now we already have the cell phone. Its price is less than the $300 cell phone. You already can buy that one, such as in China. Many 5G cell phone lower than the $300. Like my grandmother, I just booked the one 5G cell phone for her. It's only about $280, $80, that one. Okay, and we know that if the price less than the $300 and more people can affordable that one, the price can accept that one. So more and more people can enjoy the 5G. And we also think that in the next several months, maybe have some cell phone less than the $200. So more and more people can buy this 5G cell phone. But cell phone, that's not enough. That's not enough. Why? Because some people say that I have the cell phone, but it's a 4G, but it's very expensive. I don't want to buy the 5G so quickly. So you can buy that one. You can buy the CPE, router, and Wi-Fi. The CPE and the router, it's like that. The CPE is like my cup, a little huge than that one. It's a wide cup. And you put the 5G SIM card there. They can sharing the 5G as the Wi-Fi in the whole home, in the whole area, in this area. So you can enjoy that. Even your cell phone don't have the 5G, don't support the 5G. You can use the Wi-Fi WLAN to access the CPE. This CPE will change the 5G to the Wi-Fi. You can enjoy that. So many people, if they don't want to buy the 5G cell phone, they will use that first. Okay, they will use that first. By the way, we also have the some for the VR and the AR. When you wear the VR, AR, you put the SIM card, 5G SIM card there. You can enjoy the VR, AR anywhere, anywhere. In the seaside, in desert, and the mountain, maybe you also can enjoy the VR. play the gaming, okay? But of course, you need a 5G coverage and you have the 5G SIM card. And we also have the models. These models, we can say that that's for the, we can say this is for the industry, because the industry, they will put these models in their robot, they put in their car, put in their TV, put in their drone, a lot of things. So they can connect it to the 5G. That's why we use that. But many people focus on these two, smartphone and the CPE. And many, like the industry, the factory, they focus on the modules. Okay, that we can say that that's for the 5G. So for the 5G, the 5G cell phone is smaller because they will have the SOC, this technology. SOC technology means what? They will put the baseband chip and the CPU and a lot of things into the smaller chip. So can support 5G, also can support a lot of things. So it is smaller. So if you use the SOC and if you use the SOC chipset, it will be very powerful. Huawei, Qualcomm, also now we can support this one. That's to say, you can enjoy the 5G, you can enjoy the cell phone, and now. Okay, that's about the principle and the standard. It's the same, we can get some idea. URLC solution. Just now we say URLC solution means what? URLC means lower latency. It's more reliable. Lower latency solution is conferred in the release, 17. It's not the first phase, because we can know the first, it's a 15, now it's 16. Now this year we have the version, it's a release 17. It's a standardization. It's a 3GPP some protocol for the 5G. Release 17 in this year, it can support the URLC. So let's say from this year, standard already defines some solution for the auto driving. So maybe from next year, some country, some operator, they will test the auto driving. Okay, such as China. In the China, some area, they want to start to test the auto driving in the next year, Because standard define principle, they need some time to product the equipment. And then next year, they can get this equipment. They can test the auto driving. So the auto driving will be start from the next year, maybe testing. That's a testing, not the really commercial, okay? That's why we should know that what is the URLC solution? It's about auto driving. Okay, the third, now we talk about the third part. The third part actually is about some transformation and the network evolution. You just get some idea about this one because it's a more technical information. The first one, just now we say that for the 5G can support the 10 gigabits per second. And future, it also will support the 20 Gbps per second. That's the first phase, 10 gigabits. The second phase, the next phase will be the 20 gigabits per second. Delay is very short, 1 millisecond. Connection is the 1 million connections device in the 1 kilometer square. And then, of course, the 5G also can support even the cell phone. Its speed is the 500 kilometer 1 hour. Why we talk about that? Because in some country, we use the high-speed railway, high-speed train. Like in China, high-speed train, you also can enjoy the 5G. And then we also use the slicing. Slicing, it means that it's a virtual network. Okay, later I will talk about this one to you. So that's for the 5G technical information. Don't forget that one. Then for the 5G, we know why the 5G speed is so higher. It's very higher than the 4G and the 3G. Because the 5G, they use the large bandwidth. The large bandwidth means the high throughput. The 4G's bandwidth, only the 20 megabits. The 5G could be the hundreds megahertz. So of course, the wide band means the high throughput. Then they also have the massive MIMO. Massive MIMO means the more antenna. More antenna, and then of course, the throughput also will be higher antenna. The last one, it's about some technical information, such as the new waveform and new modulation and a new coding, it's so on. Okay, we just get some idea, that's okay. Then I want to tell you that the first one, for the 5G we use some new, we can say that it's a new frequency band. 4G we use is less than the 6 gigahertz. But for the 5G they will use like the 3.5 gigahertz. And some areas, some country, they also will use the millimeter wave. It's like the 29 or 39 gigahertz. It's a high frequency. High frequency. Because only the high frequency, they have the more bandwidth. The lower frequency already occupied by the 2G, 3G, 4G. High frequency, they have the more wider bandwidth. But high frequency also have the one disadvantage. Its coverage is not so good as the lower frequency. That's why sometimes maybe we need to use some new technology to enhance the 5G coverage. Okay, that's the first. The second, just now we say that they use the wider bandwidth for the 5G. Wider bandwidth in the 5G, and then the throughput will be higher. 4G only the 20 megahertz, but the 5G could be the 100 megahertz. It's very high. In the 5G in the future, in the millimeter wave, it will also have the 400 megahertz frequencies bandwidth. High bandwidth, and there will be the high throughput. That's why the 5G throughput is so high. That's the first. The second, we can find that the 5G also will need to cooperation with the 2G, 3G, and 4G. Why? Because the 2G, 3G, 4G already have a lot of sites, so they can have the cooperation one by one. First, the 5G only install in some dense area, hot spot. Future, they will go to the rural area and the suburban. In the first phase, maybe rural area and suburban is covered by the 4G also. Okay, then I think for the 5G, one thing is very important. That's for the massive MIMO. Just now we say the massive MIMO means what? Means the more antenna. More antenna. More antenna means what? More antenna means that for the 5G, they will combine the 64 antenna. Totally, they combine the 64 antenna into the one cabinet. In the one cabinet, put into the many antennas. So more antenna, throughput will be higher. That's the first. More antenna, throughput will be higher. The second is very important. 4G's antenna, you can find that that's a 4G. 4G antennas normally only can coverage in the ground. But for the 5G antenna, because they have many antenna, some of them will coverage into the ground. Some of them, they also can coverage to the sky. Why they need to coverage the sky? Because we can coverage the drone. So that's say 5G also can coverage the sky. Of course, less than the 300 meters also could be covered by the 5G. So some drone also can control and by the 5G, also can send the video and picture immediately by the 5G. So the 5G, first, its throughput is higher because they use the more antenna. The second, more antenna also not only coverage the ground, also coverage to the sky. So that's very important for the industry. Okay, about the technical, the last one, we can say that for the 5G, and we also can use the two things. One is the MAC, mobile edge computing. Mobile edge computing means that they will put some server, some computing things, it's in the site. It's near the customer, near the subscriber. So processing will be more quickly. The second is the network slicing. What's the network slicing? Network slicing means that one network will be divided into the many virtual, the virtual slice, the virtual network. One physical network will divide into the many logical or the virtual network. Why? Because some service, we know that the 5G is not only for the people, but also for the industry. Like the auto driving, just now we say the auto driving, it needs a lower latency. But the water meter, they don't need the lower latency. They only need a lot of connection. The people, you use the VR, you want the high throughput. So many people, many subscribers, they have the different requirements. One virtual network is not enough. So they will divide into the many virtual logical network. Each virtual and the logical network, they meet the different requirements. So one physical network have the many logical or the virtual network. Maybe you say, why we don't divide the many physical network? Because it's very expensive. It's very expensive. Now we only have the one physical network, but I can divide into many virtual network. Each virtual network, some is for the lower latency, some is for the high throughput, some is for the massive connection. But it's a virtual, only the one physical. Save the money, also can meet all the requirements. That's why we use the slicing. Okay, last one, we will talk about some global 5G commercial use case. Now we know that in many countries from the last 2 years already deployed the 5G. Of course, like the Middle East, like in China, such as in the Korea, a lot of countries already deployed the 5G. Okay, in China, now a lot of people already use the 5G. So you can find that in China, now already in this year, we'll have the more than the 700,000 sites. And the customer, actually the customer in the subscribers in this year in China will have the 200 million subscribers in the whole China, 5G subscribers. So that's say a lot of people can enjoy the 5G, such as my grandmother. Now she also enjoyed the 5G, okay? She also enjoyed the 5G. But we also say that if you want to use everyone can enjoy the 5G, you need to deploy the more sites, especially such as in China. So that's why they have a lot of sites, 700,000 sites in this year, okay? And 5G, just now we say the 5G is not only for the people. 5G also for the industry, such as the e-health care. You can remote to do some surgery. You can remote to check some things for the e-care, okay, healthcare. And also the manufacturer. The manufacturer is you use the robot to control that one, okay? Also the camera to see that. And we also have the smart grid and IOV, education, smart port, 4K and 8K and so on. So that's say 5G is not only for the people, but also for the industry. Okay, I would like to sharing another video to you. You can show that. It's the connected factory.
wireless technologies are set to transform manufacturing, giving rise to the factories of the future. Wireless X Labs aims to enable software-defined manufacturing with wireless technologies. Key resources will be fully connected, and resource scheduling will become more and more flexible. To achieve this goal, we must traverse 3 stages: automation, freeing people from manual work; digitalization, relieving people of intellectual labor; and mobilization, redefining existing methods of production. Wireless networks and the cloud are key elements of software-defined manufacturing. Flexible base station deployments offer seamless wireless connections, allowing for wireless charging, wireless precise time synchronization, and wireless positioning. A wide range of manufacturing applications including wireless automated guided vehicles, wireless industrial cameras, industrial wearables, and cloud-based programmable logic controllers are growing increasingly advanced. Endow the system with quick reaction capability. Approach challenges with agility and flexibility. Wireless connections will be applied in various stages of manufacturing and consumption, streamlining and integrating product data flows, manufacturing information flows, and production flows. New opportunities of supply, business, and production are set to flourish.
Okay, so you can find that that's the one case. We can use the 5G to push our manufacturers, okay, factory, and then make it more efficient. That's why we need a 5G. And we also can find that now in many countries, 5G is so popular. They use in some industry, such as the live broadcasting, such as the education and private line, and also the 5G smart grid. Okay, just now we also saw that, okay, in the factory. Also the 5G port, they can control something to robot to make the people it's more easy to do that. Okay, but some service, just now we say some service, it's about the EMBB, it's about the high throughput, such as that one. But some service, it's not only the high throughput, but also the URLC, it's a lower latency capability. So we need a lower latency like the 1 millisecond, such as the smart grid manufacturer and the 5G port. Then we also can see another case is about the smart grid. Now we can see that the smart grid 5G smart grid can make it more safety. If they found that the grid have some problem, they will just isolate that one, and also could be used the remote to control to repair that one. Now in China and some area, they already do that test. So in China, they will think that the 5G smart grid will be huge, the very huge investment and the market, because they have a lot of the camera need to connect it to the 5G anywhere to monitoring. And also the electric meters we connect to the 5G. And also the charging, the power for the electrical car, they also will connect to 5G. Also, they will have the network power distribution terminal. If they have some problem, they can isolate and then repair that one immediately, use the 5G. So 5G can make everything just more smart and reliable. Then let's look at this question. Which of the following industry can be the vertical industry to the 5G? Of course, the live broadcasting, yes. The live broadcasting can be connected to 5G. You can anywhere, you can enjoy the 8K live broadcasting. The power grid, just now we say that, they can use the robot and then also use the drone, also use everything to monitoring our smart grid. Also, if they have some problem, they can use the lower latency to isolate it and repair that one. And smart medical care. The medical care means what? You can do some remote and surgery, and also can check the patient's information. Smart education, no problem. Smart education, because we can use the VR, AR to let the students can enjoy this education anywhere, anywhere. That's why we use this 5G. Okay, now we can see that for the 5G, I think in this course, you need to remember that 5G, we have the 3 scenarios. One is the eMBB, high throughput. And URLC is another one. That's a lower latency. And MMTC means a massive connection, a lot of connection. Then we already defined the 5G specification. Okay, then more and more new release already frozen. Especially in this year, they already frozen the R16. It's about the URLC. It's about the auto driving. So in the future, maybe we can use the auto driving. By the way, don't forget that now the 5G terminal and more popular and affordable. Now it's priced less than the $300. Even people such as my grandmother also can buy it, can enjoy the 5G. Okay, and then we also can know that for the 5G, they have a lot of new technology. One new technology, don't forget that, is the massive MIMO. Do you remember that? The massive MIMO means the more antenna combined together in the 5G. So they can have the high throughput. They also can coverage to the sky, so can connect to the drone. Okay, the 5G network now already very quickly deployed in the whole world. A lot of country, a lot of operator already deployed the 5G. More and more people already enjoy this 5G. Finally, the 5G, don't forget that the 5G is not only focused on the people, they also focus on the industry. It's a to-be industry. So not only people can enjoy the 5G, but also a lot of industries such as a robot, like our smart grid manufacturing, also be connected and can use the 5G. Okay, then that's our last chapter. We can say that is the Q&A, question and the answer section. If you have any question, all the questions are welcome. So you can input your question, and then I can show that. I will try my best to answer this question. Okay, I got the first very good question. Okay, what about the security? Yeah, that's a good question. About the security, you can find that the 2 things. I want to say the 2 things. One, 5G actually is the evolution of the 4G. Actually, for the 5G, they also have more and more new technologies compared with the 4G for the security, such as they use the security algorithm. 4G, it's the algorithm bits is the 128 bits security algorithm, but the 5G it enhanced to the 256 bits security algorithm. We know that it's a bit more, and then there's more safety. And then they also, for the 5G and the site and the CP and the cell phone, they also have the independent, more security algorithm to control, make sure that no one can broken that. By the way, we also can find that for the 5G, they also use the one thing just now we say the slicing. This is a new technology. The slicing means the virtual, and we can say that it's a virtual logical network. This virtual logical network is end-to-end. End-to-end, so that's to say, it's just the independent. You can independent and isolation. That's why so for some service, if they want have more security, such as a smart grid, so they will have the one independent slicing network. So it will be independent to the other network, the other service. So no one can use that one. Only they are private. They're private. So of course, that will be the more security and the more safety for that one. Okay, so that's for the 5G. They also have the new things to make it more security. Okay, that's the first question. The second, how about broadcasting use the 5G? Yes, that's another very interesting question. Let me show you the one. Broadcasting use the 5G. Now, actually, in more and more country and operator, they want to use that one because it's very important. You know, and many live broadcasting is not fixed area. In the some event, anywhere, any event, maybe you have some event. When you have some event, so you need to use the camera to go to there. Now and more people, they use the one to show the 4K or 8K. Original, they have to use the satellite transmission, because you don't know anywhere, any event, they use that one. So if you use the satellite transmission, you can go to there and then you can send back, no problem, broadcasting. But satellite transmission is very expensive. It's very, very expensive. 1 hour, maybe will be some area, maybe more than the $10,000. So if you use the 5G, so the 5G could be put in this camera. They have the modules. Or maybe you will use the one CPE. This CPE is very smaller. You can put this CPE connected to the camera. So if there is a 5G coverage, so this camera can record the video and then feedback. Why use the CPE? Use the wireless feedback to the CCTV, to the center. Of course, immediately. Compared with the satellite, it's more, the price is lower, more easy. Then compare with the fixed network. Fixed network cannot do that because fixed network only the some area. But now 5G can anywhere, anywhere. How about 4G? 4G, because 4G's throughput is not enough. 4G's, because this one is for the uplink. Uplink means what? Uplink means the transmission back to that one. 4G, this transmission back, it's a maximum just about 50 megabits per second. It's not enough. But the 5G is very high, could be the 1 or more than the 1 gigabits per second. So it's very useful. That's why in the live broadcasting now is so popular. They use the 5G as the broadcasting feedback, the video together. Now in China, the Spring Festival, like the Chinese New Year, like the some important event, they already use the 5G broadcasting. Okay. If you are interested, future you also can contact. You can research or contact us. You can see that they have a lot of this camera and 5G connected to this camera to use in the 4K, 8K broadcasting on time. Okay, that's the second. The third, I think that. Do you think there will be more need for security? Yeah, we think that just now we say that we have the more security. Just now we say that we have the more security for the 5G because it's so important. Because that the 5G is not only used for the people, but also used for the industry. That's why we have the more 5G security specification, anything and listed that one. Yeah, yes, we need that. But don't worry, just now we say that we have some algorithm and we also have the slicing to make sure. Mostly, such as the smart grid, such as some industry, if they want to use the 5G, if they are very sensitive by the security, they also use the slicing. just now we said slicing. It's made more security because the other people they use is another virtual network. They use is another security isolate virtual network. The other people can be more security, more safety than the others. So we use a new algorithm and a new slicing to make sure that. Okay, we also have another is how will the latency will be lower than the 4G? Very good question. Also very difficult to answer that one. It's about a lot of things, okay? How that one, let me show you that. I want to use another slide. How the 5G and the latency lower than the one. The first one, the very important is that because for the 5G is like the one, that's a cell phone, that's a site, that's the transmission. That's we can say that this is the core network. So compared with the 4G, the one important thing is the core network. This one could be put that one, some core network into the site, near the site. Why? Because original for the 4G, when the subscriber, they want to send the data, they need to send to here and then here to the core, and the core will feed back to here. That's for the 4G. For the 5G, I use another color. For the 5G, if you put the core is near the site, we call this technology is the MEC. Just now we say the MEC. The mobile, the edge computing. The mobile edge computing means that some data we only need to send to here, and they processing and then feedback. So of course, the delay will be short. The second, for the 5G, also use some new technology. New technology in the wireless, in the air interface, such as we call the mini slot. Mini slot means that the scheduling will be more quickly. So of course, it will be the delay will be shorter than that one. Last one, actually, we also have some new technology in that one, even in the transmission. Even in the transmission, they also will use some transmission, we call it the flex E. Flex E means that if I get the data, I just transfer to that one. And I make sure to one is a reserve. I reserve some resource here for some higher priority service, like the auto driving. They reserve some resource for that one. So this service is coming. Okay, I found that it's a high priority. They will send it immediately. So all the things you can find that we have the new air technology to make sure that scheduling will be more quickly. The second, they can put the core network near the site, near the cell phone. So the processing will be more quickly because it's a distance is short. Then they also can make sure use some QoS and some technology, make sure some high priority service, they will be processing first. And then for the transmission, it's the same. For the transmission, also the same. They also will use the reserve some resource and for the high priority. So when you coming, like the auto driving is coming, I found that, okay, you're high priority, and then I send it immediately. So it will be more quickly. So that's why this technology can make sure this is shorter delay. Okay. Okay, it's time for that. Thank you so much. Okay. And I think that's all for our course. So here I really want to thank you, TRA, for inviting me to sharing this information. Also, thank you so much to attend this training and workshop to focus that one. Hope to see you again. Thank you so much, everyone. Thanks a lot.